Almost a year ago, I made this game right here, and now 9 months later, with a lot more experience and one fully released indie game, link in the description, I'm ready to turn this, whatever this is, into a fully fledged Steam release with multiplayer, online, artwork, music, SFX, different game modes like versus, co-op, basketball, and capture the flag. So let's just kick things off by loading up a new Unity project, and let's just call it Swing Game for now, just a temporary name, and I'll come up with a better one soon, I hope. Now that we're actually in the game, let's put in a 2D sphere, better known as a circle, but this isn't just any sphere, this is going to be the player, and let's just call him Gary for now. Now that we have Gary, I found a tutorial on how to make a grappling hook by 1 minute Unity, which isn't actually 1 minute, so that's kind of false advertising, but I followed the tutorial to a T, so this should be good. How the hell does that even happen? Well, after an embarrassing amount of time, I figured out the problem was that I messed up on one of the graphs for the line renderer, which I was off by like a decimal point, but now the grappling works well. So thank you very much 1 minute Unity. Without your help, then, you know, I probably wouldn't even have a game, then it would just be you controlling this useless ragdoll flopping and flying everywhere, and that would just be Twitter user Simulator 3000 or something. Speaking of ragdolls, let's make one by following a tutorial made by Diving Squid, and after doing some of that, boom, here's the ragdoll I gave birth to. And now that the player's done, let's make him look good, of course, and I can't just use Spider-Man for my official Steam release, because if I even thought about that, then Disney would sue me into the grave and send a team of lawyers over to hunt me down faster than you can shoot Uncle Ben. So, instead of, you know, being sued to death, I made Grappling Gary, you know, just change the colors, change the name, completely different character, totally original, and 100% not Spider-Man and not associated with Spider-Man or Marvel or Disney in any way, shape, or form. Did you get that? Okay, good. Now we can finally move on. So now Gary has a little friend, which is, you know, more than I can say for myself. Nah, I'm just kidding. And now that he has a friend, we can just call him Barry, but right now Barry's looking kind of dead, so let's put some life into him by giving him some controls. So now you can move Barry's arms by moving your joysticks around, and now Gary and Barry both look good, so let's just kind of put them together, and then now we have the perfect being that's just about ready to be played. But to push him over the edge and make him ready, I need to fix the grappling gun script, because in the tutorial the grappling gun shoots wherever the mouse clicks, and that won't really work in this game, because in this one you have 2 grappling guns, and also the prime, like you're meant to use the... Also in this game, you're mostly meant to use the controller. I mean, even though you can use a keyboard and mouse, it's just better with a controller. But fortunately, it is a pretty quick fix. All you need to do is just change the grapple point, which right now is just where the mouse is when you click, to instead shoot a raycast forward in the direction of where the hands are pointing, and then you see if that ray hits an object that isn't the player, and then set the grapple point to the hit position. And now most of the base mechanics are basically finished, so here's kind of a look at the preview of the game. And now that we've taken care of one player, it's time that I deal with multiple players, and it's probably best that we start with local multiplayer, because I imagine online is gonna be just a teensy-weensy bit more difficult. Now, fortunately, adding local multiplayer is pretty easy, because all I needed to do was make an event system, which works with the new Unity input system, and then it checks if I pressed like a start button on the controller, and if I did, then it spawns a player prefab, which is basically just a clone, and that's pretty much it, so that's pretty chill. And now with that done, the next thing I wanted to do was add some camera movement, and I think that the way it works in Spider-Hack is pretty cool, because in that game the camera kind of zooms in and out based on how far apart the players are from each other. So if they're very far apart, the camera zooms way out, and if they're like pretty close, then the camera just zooms in. And thankfully Brackeys had a video that's exactly about that camera. So that's pretty great, thanks a lot. And now that we're done with most of the local multiplayer stuff and like the basic stuff, now we can move on to the hard part, which is Online multiplayer. That's scary enough. So let's just start off by following a quick tutorial on how to make online multiplayer. 6 hours? Okay, this is gonna be a lot longer than I thought.
2,000 years later.
Okay, so that kind of sucked. So basically, what I had to do to make online multiplayer is I had to redo everything once. I had to redo all the same scripts, just like kind of copy and paste them, and then just switch up some few things just to make it online. And I also had to make a separate online player so that I don't use up unnecessary stuff on the PC, because it takes a little more for online. And then I got it to a place where I'm pretty happy with it, you know? You choose host, and then you host the lobby, and then client to join the lobby. And, you know, everything works great, and you can, like, move around, and everything's synced, so it's all working good. Until you start grappling, which, you know, isn't that great, considering that's the whole goddamn point of the game. But, you know, this should just be a quick fix still, right? So just search that up on Google. Okay, that doesn't work. How about, you know, ChatGPT? Alright, that doesn't work either. So, you know, what do I do now? Oh, wait a minute. I got it. I got the solution. I figured it out. I know exactly what to do to fix this issue. Hi there. I'm making an online multiplayer game where the players shoot grappling ropes, but the rope/line render is only appearing on the screen of the player who shot the rope. My goal in life is to make the rope appear on all screens. Some help would be greatly appreciated. 100 emoji. And also here's some of the code if needed. So yeah, basically that's their issue now, so I can kind of move on with that and maybe deal with online stuff in the next video. So, you know, stay tuned, because next time I'm gonna actually do the online multiplayer. But now we can start adding some punching into the game and some collisions with the player. Now, making collisions with the player in the game is a little more difficult than, you know, you would think, because the player can't really collide with itself because it's a... And then after that, we just do the same thing with the grappling gun, and now you can grapple on your friends as well. So that can be good if you want to just like pull them across or do something weird with that, or swing on each other, kind of like make like a weird grappling circle or something and just infinitely swing across each other. And after that, I kind of just didn't work on the game, to be honest, but I was able to do some little post-processing, so I made it look a little more like a little old, like little old timey-wimey little game, and I think it looks a lot better with like these little chromatic aberration. And I also just changed up little things with the body parts, which is like the weights of each limb, which is probably one of the most important things to the game, because if the physics are all messed up, then the momentum of the game and the speed of it is just completely messed up as well. And, that's one of the most important things, just making the player feel right to swing with. And after that, I sketched out some ideas on paper on how it was supposed to look like the player, his art. And I'm kind of going for a more little silly, cartoony vibe, which I'm gonna probably put some images up on the screen. And I also want character customization, so I also made some little costumes and little designs for that. And after I found something I was happy with, I went into GIMP and I made a head sprite for the player. And after the head was done, I made a couple more faces, and then I asked TikTok which face they liked best, and you can actually follow that TikTok right now. It's on the screen for earlier updates and to also like help decide things and maybe like vote and stuff like that. But eventually this face right here won with a staggering 2 whole votes. So I put that in the game, and to be honest, it doesn't really work with the pants, so I thought that a hip joint would be kind of cool, but I kind of didn't really know what I was doing, so that kind of broke the whole player. So I just removed that for now, and I put all the sprites back to normal because I realized that this is a little bit of a bigger job than I had anticipated. And then I finally learned what a character atlas is, which is probably the best solution to do what I'm trying to do, because I made everything in its own individual file. style. But a character atlas is like basically the whole player, but you just brutally tear apart each individual limb of them and then draw them, and then you put them back together so that you can actually see how they look like together and how they intertwine. And also, while I was doing this, I went through like some more like multiple iterations of the art style. I landed on a little more like something that's a little more simple but also has a little bit of the 3D-ish vibe. Then I added the sprite to Unity, and then I gave the player a fresh new skin, and now they look pretty good. So that's that's pretty great. And looking ahead, I'm excited to put in character customization and of course online multiplayer, which I'm gonna do in the next video, and some different game modes as well. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe so you can see me make this and eventually play it when I release it on Steam. Also, I really need some help with the name of the game because I don't have a name for this. So if you have any ideas, then please comment them down below. Also, just like general suggestions on other things or what other games I should make or other stuff that I could put in this game. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Good night.